you'd like to feel. I think many of us aren't aware that we have some control and we have the ability to create our emotional state. And in doing so, we just open up so much more of ourselves, of our life, of our possibilities, and the potential.
Welcome to another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive differences they are making in the world. I am delighted to showcase today's guest, and let me tell you why. She is on a mission to spread more love, compassion, and light in this world, one heart at a time. Her Superconscious Solution program empowers people to be the creators of their own emotional state by teaching people how to harness the power of their own superconscious mind and to learn the language of their hearts. She has been working with people for more than 20 years and is passionately devoted to helping people discover their unique strengths, celebrate their awesomeness, and connect with their authentic selves to live lives full of meaning, purpose, love, and joy. Do you sometimes feel at the mercy of your own emotions? Do you frequently feel anxiety, depression, overwhelm, resentment, and then sometimes get stuck there? Do you see these social media posts about self-love, positive affirmations, or good vibes and wonder, how are people getting into these positive emotions? If so, then don't go anywhere, because our guest is here to give you a path out of difficult emotions by shifting up your emotional state using your own superconscious mind. It's radical, it's new, it's magical, and it's amazing. Let's talk about emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly, and how you can shift up your emotional state using your own superconscious mind. My name is Melanie McSally, your host for today's episode, and without further ado, I would like to welcome the beautiful, the compassionate, the loving Michelle McEwan. Michelle comes to us from the west coast of Canada, BC. Michelle, welcome. What is the mission of the Superconscious Solutions program?
Thanks so much, Melanie, for that awesome introduction. I'm so happy to be here today on your podcast. My message is one of emotions. I am really on a mission to spread more love and compassion in this world. And I think we get there through our hearts. Now, in our hearts lives our emotions. And if you're like me and like many of us in the world, we are not really well versed in our emotions, in the language of our heart. Many of us are living up in our head, and we are often in reaction mode. So, reacting to what's going on around us, having these emotional reactions, and not necessarily knowing what they mean or what they do, um, or how they control our behavior, and end up going from reaction to reaction to reaction. And often we're left wondering, well, why am I still repeating this pattern? Why am I still frequently angry in this situation? Why am I frequently anxious in this situation? Or why am I always overwhelmed or always resentful? And often we can feel that we are at the mercy of our emotions. And I really want to flip that around. I really want people to be empowered, to learn the language of their heart, to learn what emotions mean, to learn how to process them, to how to heal them, and then how to really create with intention the emotional state you'd like to feel I think many of us aren't aware that we have some control and we have the ability to create our emotional state. And in doing so, we just open up so much more of ourselves, of our life, of our possibilities, and the potential in life. So ultimately, more love and more compassion in your life and for the world is through the heart, and the Superconscious Solution program will help you get there.
I love peeling back the onion to figure out the root of our emotions. I love that you give people a way to do that so they can learn, they can grow, release anything no longer serving them, or transmute that into something more serving, more loving, more empowering. Emotions are just energy in motion. So processing emotions seems way more healthy than the old push them down, ignore them until they go away, because they don't go away. So, what happens when we ignore them, when we try to stop them and push them down? Can you give us the bad and the ugly of emotion?
Yes, let's talk about the bad and the ugly first. Let's get at that out of the way. So many of us are familiar with the heavy emotions, the difficult emotions, anger, despair, jealousy, um, hopelessness, grief. We can feel those emotions even as I'm speaking about them now. We can feel their energy. They are heavy, they weigh us down. Getting stuck in those emotions is really no fun. It's like a messy soup. So, the heavy energy of those emotions, well, emotions are energy. And so when you're stuck in that heavy energy, your whole system, your mind, body, spirit doesn't work quite as well. The other difficult part of emotions is what I have noticed is that people frequently, push down their emotions, suppress them, repress them, whether they do it consciously or unconsciously. We have been taught and we have learned, many of us, that emotions are not good and we shouldn't be feeling them. And so we don't. And so, what happens to all of that emotional energy when it's not processed? It gets stuck. It gets stuck in our system. It gets stuck in the cellular level, the energy level, the chakra level, the meridian level. It just gets stuck. And what happens? Well, physical pain, chronic illness, emotional pain, depression, despair, anxiety. It gets stuck and it comes out when we least expect it in our reactions. And how does that show up in life? Well, more conflict, um, more chaos, more running away from things. We want to blow up our life because we feel this flight energy in our system when these emotions get triggered. So, the emotions that we've been pushing down, shoving down, numbing away. Yes, I didn't talk about numbing yet. We often numb our emotions: shopping, booze, food, work, all those kinds of things are usually to avoid feeling some emotional state. So that's kind of the bad and the ugly. These difficult emotions live in our system. We've been avoiding them and we can't do that anymore. Well, we can, but it's not it's not healthy. And the more you avoid the difficult emotions, actually, the more you avoid the really good emotions too. So it's worth it. It's worth it to get to the bottom of this stuff.
Oh, wow. Such powerful insight. When you're suppressing emotions, you're blocking off both the good and the bad from flowing. So powerful. So, how do we get to the good emotions then?
Yes, let's talk about the good now because that's pretty depressing to think about all of that, those stuck emotions inside of us. So the good part is with the Superconscious Solution program, you can really heal the roots of those difficult emotions so that you don't have to experience them as often. And you can um, experience more positive emotions. So let's talk about the positive emotions. They are a lighter feelings, right? Automatically, we start to feel lighter when we think about them. Joy, love, passion, happiness, creativity, flow, just feels really good. Those lighter emotions do give us energy. They do shift us into flow states where we get more connected with our intuition, where we are more creative, where we are able to connect more with our authentic selves. We, in these emotional states, we feel better. Our physically, our body is better. We have less pain, we have less illness. And in our relationships, we have less conflict, we have more love, we have more joy, we have just more harmony in our relationships when we feel good. So it's really worth it to feel good. But I think it's super important to realize that we can't just, try to feel good. We can't just say the positive affirmations because unless you clear out the gunk in the system, the viruses in your programming, you're just bypassing. Again, you're ignoring and avoiding the difficult stuff, and it's still in your system. So, positive affirmations and trying to be positive and trying to be good vibes only, it will backfire. You really do need to do the work of emotional healing. And so that's where Superconscious Solution comes in, because the work of emotional healing does not have to be as hard as you may think it is. It does not have to be talk therapy. It does not have to be reliving trauma. It does not have to be really difficult. It can be gentle. It can be transformative. It can be, yeah, it can even be fun. It can even be full of love and healing, which is what it is in my program.
And I can attest to that. I've actually done Michelle's Superconscious program, and look, listeners, I can't begin to explain the magic. All I know is that it works. It gives you insight into deep-seated thoughts, beliefs, memories that could be holding you back or creating intense emotions unnecessarily. I remember when ride shares first came out, I would not get in one. I did not think they were safe. All I could think about was all the dangers. And one day I was at work, I was running late for a flight, and a few of my employees were trying to help get me to the airport on time. When they found out that I would not take a ride share or a black car, they thought I was being irrational. It wasn't for another several years that I realized where that fear stemmed from and then was able to work through it. And of course, now I can take ride shares. Sometimes we have these fears that we don't even realize are there. So Michelle, help us understand this a bit better. What do you mean by superconscious?
Yes, Superconscious Solution. Kind of a weird name. So why is it called that? Well, superconscious is really the crux of it for a couple of reasons. So first, you can think about the idea of becoming super conscious, you yourself becoming super conscious, you really being aware of yourself, your internal state, not only what's going on in your head, but what's going on in your heart. So letting go of what's going on in the world around you, but looking inside and knowing what is going on there. And then it's using your own superconscious mind. So most people don't know that inside of us, we have this superconscious mind. It's like your own inner healer or your own BFF or your own app. If you want to think of your brain and your system like a computer, superconscious is like your own app. It can go in and clear out the viruses in your system, right? To upgrade your programming, if we want to use the computer analogy. It can heal the distressing emotions. It can heal the roots of our patterns, which is really amazing. And thirdly, your superconscious mind is there with you 24/7. So in the program, I teach you how to access this app in your brain and use it whenever you need to. So you in our sessions together in this really personalized, individualized, safe, full of love container, we work through your roots of your patterns, the roots of your behaviors, the roots of your emotional state using your superconscious mind. And so kind of like your emotional baseline, your emotional set point is elevated because we clear out all this stuff. And then I teach you how to access your superconscious mind on your own. So when you go about your daily life and you experience difficult emotions or you experience something and you're in reaction mode, you notice it because you are superconscious. And then you use your superconscious mind to help you clear whatever's going on and then create. That's the magic. That's where the magic happens. You can then create how you'd like to feel, reinforce what you'd like to believe. And in doing so, you really then become the creator of your own life, the creator of your experience, and it's magic.
That's so cool. I'm a techie, and that totally makes sense. The first supercomputer was actually modeled off of the human brain. So I love that you're using this as an analogy because it's just flipping that coin. I also love this idea of being the creator of my own life. I mean, who doesn't want more control over themselves, their minds, their thoughts, etc.? So, who is the Superconscious Solution program for?
Who is this program for? Superconscious Solution Shift Up is really for anybody because we all have emotions. And most of us don't know about the superconscious mind and how powerful it is. So it really is for anybody. Um, Specifically, I really want to empower people. So if you are feeling disempowered by your emotions, if you are feeling that you are frequently reactive and don't know how to shift out of that, if you notice reoccurring patterns in your life, if you notice a lot of anxiety, or if you notice frequently dipping down into depression, um, I really want to come. I really want you to come see me because in the Shift Up program, we can really heal the roots of those common patterns. We can very gently um, the superconscious can find the roots of where those patterns started and rewire them so that you don't have to experience them, you know, at all, as often, if at all. You really can change the emotional patterns in your life. And once I teach you how to access your own superconscious mind, you really have the power to shift your emotional state in the moment, which is really freeing and liberating. Some have called me the healer of broken hearts, which is really very lovely. Um, I do like to think of it as the healer is inside of you, and I help you access that healer and learn to use it on a daily basis. So you can create a life that you love now and every day.
So it's healing, freeing, and liberating, and also brings the awareness within you to heal yourself. How empowering. Thank you, Michelle. It has been both a pleasure and honor having you on our show here today, listening to your wisdom and feeling your compassion. Do you have any final thoughts for our listeners? Perhaps how they might go about connecting with you and learning how to level up their emotions?
Thanks so much for listening. I hope you've learned something about emotions and how important it is to feel them and heal them, and how Superconscious, the BFF app in your brain, can really help you through this process. I look forward to seeing you all in a Shift Up session. So there's a couple ways. Join my Facebook group, Superconscious Solution, Joy, Love, Freedom. We're looking for more joy, we're looking for more love, and we're looking for freedom from these emotional reactions. In this group, you can participate or listen to the recordings of weekly Shift Up sessions, where you can then upgrade your programming for your week ahead. You can also access my 25 ways to shift up guide using the link. That will be sent right to your inbox, and you will see a range of ways to shift up your emotions on your own. Lastly, if you are eager to get into a one-on-one shift up session, they're all online. You're held in the utmost of safety and love and respect, and we can really get to clear some of the roots of your patterns. They really are magic and magical. So if you'd like to, go ahead, click on the booking link and use the code WELCOME88 to get your first Shift Up session for $88. I look forward to seeing everybody. I welcome any questions, any comments, any feedback, and I just wish you all the most joy, love, and happiness. Take care.
You heard it here, folks. If you're ready to bring more joy, love, and freedom into your life, reduce stress, tackle depression, and shift up your emotions, Michelle has given you 3 great ways to get started. As I said earlier, I have personally taken her Superconscious sessions, and it is transformational. So I highly suggest you try it for yourself. The link to Michelle's website is below, as well as in the description. Once again, Michelle, thank you for being here today and for taking on the mission to spread more love, light, and compassion in.
I want to thank our listeners for tuning in. If you like what you heard here today, please do like, share, and comment. We are trying to get WyzeCast to be a hot new release. So if you feel inspired, if you felt moved, if you felt called, if we earned it, please do like, share, and comment. It is free for you to do so. It really helps the podcast grow, and we really do love your engagement. This was another episode of WyzeCast, the show that elevates the voices, shines the light, showcases the gifts of our heart-centered guests, and amplifies the positive difference they're making in the world. If you want to learn more about WyzeCast, you can visit our website at wyzecast.com. We drop 10 episodes every month on the 21st, so you can binge watch or spread them out over the month, whatever suits your mood and lifestyle. Once again, my name is Melanie. It has been my pleasure being your host today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your engagement. And I invite you to come back and join me once again for our next episode of WyzeCast.